Aloha and welcome to the Healing Temple. My name is Tracy and Starloha, and I'm your guide to holistic health and wellness. I take you on journeys through physical health, spiritual health, mental health, and emotional health. And today we're going to talk about spiritual health and emotional health. I'm going to share with you 3 tools that I've used to help me on my journey of living as a soul and do the things that I came here to do and live with purpose and to invoke mastery in my actions. I'll be talking about astrology, human design, and the gene keys. And I'm going to go deeper into the gene keys because that's the modality that I'm working with the most right now and I'm really excited about. I've been studying these modalities for over 15 years. I got my first astrology reading when I was 23, and I was blown away by how this person could see me. It was like she knew my inner emotional landscape, and she could read my family dynamics and other things. And I was just like, wow, you can see all of this by just looking at my natal chart and never even speaking to me or asking me a personal question. I knew there was some magic to this modality. So I started exploring astrology ever since, which led me to human design and eventually the gene keys, because they're all very related and they build on each other. But they each have a unique lens, and they really help when you work in conjunction with all 3 of them. So I used to feel lost, fragmented, depressed, and now I feel excited, curious, at peace, and aligned with my true purpose and my soul's deepest yearnings and desires. So let's go into astrology first. What is astrology for you newbies? Astrology, or your natal chart, is where the planets were the moment you were born. So it takes the time of your birth and the location, and of course the date, and it shows you a snapshot of where all the planets were at that moment. If you think about when you were born and that specific time and location, and how many other people have that same blueprint, it's very, very, very small. So that's why astrology is so amazing, because it shows you your uniqueness, your specialness, your divinity, your particular journey, and all the influences that shape who you are. And the planets are living beings, and the way they were in relation to each other when you were born and what zodiac sign they were in all means something. Your astrology also tells you what life lessons and karmic lessons your soul is here to learn and progress through. So there could be a million different things to focus on in this life, but your natal blueprint will tell you what specific things you should be focusing on and mastering in this life, so that you can ascend or learn and be what you intended on coming here to be and learn. There's a lot of things in your chart. For example, I never would have known that I was going to be so passionate about health like 10 years ago, but my chart tells me that I'm really passionate about health because my sun is in the 6th house, and my sun is in Aries, which is like really kind of bold, and it kind of goes with the whole raw food thing, like the kind of animalistic way of eating, the raw primal diet, and I'm promoting that from a health lens through, which is the 6th house, and that's where my sun lives, in the 6th house. So it's a really awesome framework and guide of to help you find how your soul wants to express. If you want to learn about the basics of reading an astrology chart, I recommend going to my little mini course here. There's a playlist, and it's 4 videos on how to read the chart and what things mean. It gives you the basics so you can look at your chart and understand. And you can also get a reading with me if you'd like. My favorite astrology people are Kelly Beard of Karmic Tools. She has a podcast on Spotify. I think they're on all channels. And she also has a blog, and she gives weekly reports of what's happening in the sky. And that's a place you can learn the language of astrology and what it means. And you can also get readings from her and tools and guidance. I also love the Pele Report with Kai Pacha. He has a YouTube video, comes out every Wednesday, and it's a weekly guide on what's happening in the stars and planets and how we can navigate and what to look out for in the week so that we are aware of the energies that are up and how we can just navigate life more smoothly. So astrology was my gateway to all of this, and I still am just so into it, and I love it because, like I said, the planets are living beings and they influence us. Their energies influence us. So they are really important to be in relationship and communion with, and they each have an individual personality and influence, and it's really cool to know about that. And next, I want to check in about human design. All of these modalities, you enter your birth information, and human design is a synthesis of astrology, the I Ching, the Kabbalah, and the chakras. So there's like a whole chart that is shown of your body, and there's different gateways and energy centers that are either open or closed, and it's pretty complex, and there's a lot of experts out there who can tell you more about it. I'm just super basic. The one thing that I really enjoyed about human design that helped me the most is knowing what energy type I am. There's 4 different energy types, I believe: generator, manifesting generator, reflector, projector, and there might be one more that I'm missing, maybe just manifester. Yeah. And so I'm a projector, and only 20% of the population are projectors, and it's a whole different way of having energy than like someone like a generator. Generators are more of the population, and they have a lot of energy to work and do and create, and projectors don't have any energy of their own. They actually have to get energy from people or from learnings, and they're not more of like the worker bees. They're more of the visionaries and like the systems thinkers. And it's really good to know which type you are, and there's more to it, like which part of your body is your authority. For example, mine is a splenic authority, so I make decisions from that place, and other people make decisions in different ways. So it's important to know where your energy centers are and what they're doing. And so it's really cool, even if you don't have the resources or the time to like seek help and guidance from a professional, you can actually just plug in your human design information into ChatGPT and just ask like questions about it. What do I need to know for this? What is this telling me? Whatever question you want to ask, and it'll tell you that based on your human design chart, and you'll be able to learn about it that way. The other thing I love about human design was the eating types. They have like 6 or so different eating types, and mine turned out to be the alternating one, or like a slang word for it is the caveman one. So just eating one type of food at a time and waiting like an hour to eat another type of food. And that's really helped my personal system like relate and healthfully have a good diet. And there's other funny ones like eating when listening to music or only eating at night. And I just invite you to look those up and play with them and see if it actually resonates with you. So now we're gonna dive into the key feature of today's talk, and that is the gene keys, which are so cool. They're created by Richard Rudd, and he has a book called The Gene Keys. It's a really thick book, and it has 64 different gene keys and what each of those mean and the energies of them. His book is also on Audible, and he has a website that has a lot of information. I'm pretty sure it's thegenekeys.com. I'll link it below. I want to read just a simple description of it to just give a straightforward base of where we're starting from. The gene keys are a system of personal transformation created by Richard Rudd. They're based on 64 universal archetypes derived from the I Ching and are deeply connected to your DNA. Each gene key contains a shadow, or your challenge, a gift, or your potential, and a siddhi, your highest essence. Unlike other systems that focus on external action, the gene keys are a path of contemplation. And by gently exploring the shadows in your profile, you begin to unlock the gifts encoded within you. And it's a system for inner alchemy, for turning your pain into purpose. So when you go to the Gene Keys website, you can plug in your birth time and location and date, and you'll get a little chart of bubbles. There should be about 11 different spheres, and they each have a number in them, and those numbers are your gene keys. So we each, out of the 64, we each have about 11 individual specific to us and in a specific configuration. So somebody else might have similar gene keys as me, but they wouldn't be in the same places. And so the placement matters, and also the numbers matter. And even it says, if it says like 32.1, the 0.1 has a meaning too, or the 0.2, 0.3. So but it's not really as complex as human design or astrology. It's fairly simple and straightforward to understand, especially when you follow Richard Rudd's content on different platforms, which I'll tell you about. But so when you look at the chart, you'll see each sphere, and each gene key has, like it said, a shadow, a gift, and a city. And so what he recommends is to, first of all, know what these are, and also then like sit with the shadow, like where do these shadows come up in my life, and to really sit with them and embrace them, accept them, and let them transform you. For example, I have in one of my gene keys, I don't know the number right now, but it's the shadow of stress, the gift of restraint, which doesn't sound like a gift, and it's hard for it to be a gift, but it's good, and the city of stillness. So how do I turn my stress into stillness? And I'm really blessed to know about this part of me, because it's a very fundamental root part of how I can thrive if I master this overcoming the shadow of stress and living the gift of restraint, and then being this divine stillness. So that's an example. Another one that I'm working on is dissatisfaction as a shadow, and then it goes to vitality, and then it goes to bliss. And I love these cities because some of them are like ecstasy, bliss, delight, universal love. And like, wouldn't it be so cool if you introduced yourself to someone and you were just saying these essential aspects of yourself, and they really are true. Like, I feel so connected with universal love as like the highest expression of myself. So it's really encouraging to see like where you are, but where you can go from that. And so to get more guidance on this, if you have the Gaia TV app, there's a whole series on the Gene Keys by Richard Rudd that's really helpful. And then if you want to purchase one of their pathway explorations on the website, it's only like $150, I think, per pathway. And it takes you through the 3 pathways. There's your life's work and evolution is one of the pathways that's in the chart. And then there's the activation sequence, which is also called your genius. And then there's the pearl pathway, which is your path to prosperity. And so on the website, if you buy those little packages, you get in depth to your specific paths. But before you do that, one thing I did that just helped me was I wrote down my gene keys on, like, I made an art project out of it. I made little cutout stars and I wrote the gifts on them, or I made little, like, just a collage of all of them and wrote the shadow, gift, and city. And so it's helpful to have them posted on your wall somewhere to just remember that, like to remember to tune into that. And so Richard Rudd says all you need to do is contemplate on the gift to start activating it within you, and be aware of the shadow, like journal about it, sit with it, accept it, embrace it, and that'll naturally transform it as well. So there's different ways to activate it, and they're simple. They're just by being with those words and aspects. So all of these modalities are really awesome because not only do they help you understand and relate to yourself and explore your challenges and your gifts, they also help you do the same about others. So they help you develop compassion and understanding for somebody else, because other people are not the same as you and you can't expect them to be. They're different. And that's kind of the beauty of this Aquarian age we're stepping into. And what we need to celebrate is the individual differences in everybody and what they uniquely, individually bring to the table to make a whole picture, a tapestry, and to contribute in their own special way. So we're leaving the era of everyone should be the same and do the same thing and act the same way. We need to embrace our individuality, and these tools are a way to do that, to really own your own gifts and really cultivate them so you can bring your best self forward when the time is needed. We're going to all need to come together and change this world. And if we know our gifts and what we have to bring to the table, the most authentic, aligned, soulful parts of ourselves, the natural parts, the parts that give us energy and give us life force, and that the world really wants and needs, and the reason we came here to this earth, if we do that, if we concentrate on that, we're going to naturally make the world a better place. And understanding, that other people are different and you can't expect them to do what you want or the same things as you, because they have a different way of learning or being. And I think that this helps greatly with children and raising children. They're not going to be the same as us. They're going to have their unique star print. And it's like, how can we cultivate those unique special energies that they have, instead of saying, oh, you need to do this because we do it as a family? Like, maybe they don't. Maybe they need to do something else. And if you have conflict with somebody, you might see that your certain parts of your chart really have that friction, and you can like kind of breathe easy knowing, okay, that's what's going on here. Like, we just fundamentally have an operating system, and we just have to find a way to compromise or solve this based on acknowledging each's perspectives and feelings and what's important to them. Everyone has their own unique lens that they're coming from, and those are valid and important. So these tools have helped me to really just know myself and feel confident in who I am as a unique individual. I used to feel like an outcast, or like no one understood me, or like I had trouble communicating how I really felt. And these are all written in my chart. And I also, my gifts of like nurturing and loving the world, and being, really obsessed with certain things like health or having a chronic illness, it's all written in my chart. And so it helps me to accept who I am and what's going on in my life, because I know my soul designed this. My soul is wanting this, and the lessons that I'm going to learn from this is why I'm here. And so we can celebrate those gifts, and we can also learn how to work with the challenges in a more graceful, understanding way. So I invite you to go explore your own chart and talk to other people about it, and know that it's not some made up weird stuff. Astrology and all of these things are very accurate. Even people like in bigger corporate settings use astrology for picking launch dates or dates to do their business. If you ever work with me as a health coach, or I will definitely look up your chart to get to know you more and see what you're working with. For example, the 6th, 8th, and 12th house of your astro chart refer to your health, like acute stuff, chronic stuff, and mysterious illness. So that can help kind of just give yourself some soothing, gentle awareness of like, oh, that's what's going on. If you've already worked with your gene keys, share in the comments below how you use them, or what your favorite insights have been, and where the learning communities are that you have, so other people can to join you. And if you're new to this gene key, get your profile done and just see what pops out at you, what is like an aha moment, and feel free to share it with us here in the comments. So I invite you to like, subscribe, and share this video to anyone who you think you want to share this journey with, of finding your true soul self and living from that space. I'm so happy you joined me here today on another episode, and I look forward to bringing you more information on how to align with the healthiest, happiest version of yourself. I'm wishing you so many blessings and alignments, feelings of joy, love, peace, and happiness, and I will see you in the next video. Aloha.